Yo, what up? I apologize. I was behind. Yep, predictive programming. Um, predictive, what do you call it? What's up, Auntie Leah? Predictive, um, what do they say? CP time, maybe. Yeah, I thought I put it for like 3:15 and I thought it was 2:15 and I was like, oh, it's 2:30. What up, y'all? What's up, Aaron? Ron Smith or Margie? What's up? What's up? Who we have in the building? Appreciate everybody here. I know you already hit the like button. I don't have to ask. I already know people hit it. Auntie Lee, appreciate you. Amari, what up? Patricia Blair, Karen, Mikhail, appreciate y'all for being here. Oh, Alina, I didn't see Alina in here. You're not blocked or nothing. Appreciate everybody in here. What's up? Um, I mean, did y'all see the UPS freight plane that crashed? I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, here we are with another AI video. Yeah, come to find out that thing is real. Um, yeah, you didn't see it yet. Yeah, it's crazy. There, it was it actually happened in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. There's the Muhammad Ali um airport. That's exactly where it happened. And yeah, I just hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. Somebody was hitting me about some other stuff. I'm over here looking for the actual article that we're talking about. And yeah, the UPS flight crash. So at first they said it was 9 people. Well, they said 9 people were missing. Let me see. Who do I go to first? Who do we trust? CNN or do we trust ABC? I guess the most updated one is ABC News, and they're saying that 13 people perished after a UPS plane crashed at the Louisville airport, and so it's 9 missing. They're believed to have been near the crash site. Now, yeah, the plane was taken off, and it looks like the engine was malfunctioning, and they essentially, I mean, it didn't get far. It essentially crashed a couple of feet away, like 100 feet away from the airport. And there's video of it. I saw a couple of video, but it says, you know, death tolls risen up to 13 after a UPS plane departing from Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport in Kentucky crashed in a ball of flames earlier this week. The victims have been transported to local hospitals in the immediate aftermath of Tuesday's crash because it happened Tuesday, and a lot of them, I don't, they perished there, notwithstanding the amazing care that they received. That's what the mayor said at the vigil. We pray for all victims that we know and the other unknown victims and all the other families. Officials said earlier Thursday, that 9 people remain missing as a crew continue to search through the half a mile of charred, mangled debris to find any additional victims in the crash. It's been 36 hours of tragedy, and it was a UPS flight 2976. It crashed around 5:15 p.m. on Tuesday. This is according to the FAA. The McDonnell Douglas MD 11 freighter plane was headed to uh, Daniel K. Inouye International Airport in Hawaii when the plane's left engine detached after a large plume of fire erupted from the plane's left wing. So, yeah, there was a lot of fire, and that's because it was leaving Kentucky headed to Honolulu. So that's a nice flight. So you got to be fueled up. So is it the main component of the engine um, of the aircraft had broken off. And yeah, it's sad. When I saw it, I said, "Man, this is sad. It's crazy. I don't want to go too far, but yeah, this is real crazy. It's real. What's the movie? Leave the World Behind ish. It just reminded me of Leave the World Behind. How many of y'all have seen that movie, Leave the World Behind? Did it hit a petroleum building? I don't know. I don't know if it did. If it did, let me look it up and see. Yeah, Auntie Leah, there's a movie called Leave the World Behind. Left Behind is with Kirk Cameron. I remember that. It was a series about the rapture. Leave the World Behind is a film that came out. When did it come out? 2023? When did the movie come out? Let me look it up real quick. Leave the World Behind. It was a Netflix movie. But yeah, it came out in yeah, 2023. Um, who does it cast? It's Mahershala Ali, Julia Roberts. Who's that other guy? Um, Ethan Hawke, and they totally where's the black girl? The black girl was in here. They totally don't have her in here. Like that's cool how they don't have her prominently. Ruth Scott, that's her name. The black girl was in there. It's a lot of it was, I mean, it was a pretty popular film. In fact, I think the Obamas had something to do with it. They produced it, but you got to check this film out. It's about a family going on a vacation in New York, and they got their vacation was interrupted by two strangers bearing the news of a blackout, and both families basically have to figure out how to survive. But you really gotta watch the film, and it's just reminding me of all the stuff that's going on right now because one scene in the movie that's prominent. and that was very prominent in that film was the planes falling out of the sky. And ever since we got Trump in as the second Trump presidency, I'm starting to see a lot more of the planes falling out of the sky. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of other things that happen in that movie where there's a pile up of Teslas that crashed on the highway. I haven't seen that yet, but I guess look forward to it. I guess I don't know. Um, yeah, Trump. I'm not blaming Trump. I'm just saying administration, though, especially with the government shutdown right now, and then the FAA. A lot of the um, TSA workers just walked off and left the airport. And not saying that this uh, not saying that this crash is attributed to but there's a lot. It's a lot going on. What's going on? Hello, you there?
I'm here.
It's weird. It's not showing you up though, but that's crazy. Okay, yeah. For what reason? I'm like real hungry, so I don't know. I'm not gonna make this a long video. Um, but yeah, this video and this project. I mean, well, I ain't gonna say project. I'll just say this video that I'm talking about right now. When I when I when I refer to predictive programming, for those who don't know what I'm referring to when I'm talking about predictive programming, it basically says it's a conspiracy theory. I know some people get on here, oh, like that whole, like I said, conspiracy theory, reality madness, right? Conspiracy theory where fictional media is used uh or to future or it says a formal program.
Hmm.
And I could say predictive programming, yeah, because I I specialize in computers as well. So, but I'm talking about the uh, future events that the public uh, are being kind of fed through by the media. Um, the like how they had the Simpsons said, when Trump was going to become president and him coming up the escalator or down the escalator, blah blah blah, and they had Homer doing it. I don't know. Like, that's the whole thing with this whole predictive programming stuff. I'm not going to get into the whole conspiracy of it, but um, the Simpsons is like the most uh, notable one that I could speak of when it talks about a lot of cases where the Simpsons predicted something. You could just look it up. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
This this situation here, I don't know. Is it like is it a form of is it a form of predictive programming where it's like, oh damn, we done seen this before with in the movies, and you know we got planes falling just out of the sky. A lot of near misses as well. I've heard a lot of near misses, but this is the first time it happened, and it made the news, and it's just horrific. Prayers up to all the individuals who lost their lives because of this crash and the neighborhood that it affected. I mean, just pray for everyone where something happened to them. But yeah, this is horrible. This is horrible. But uh, if this is the case, just the whole predictive programming, because it's like, well, the elites are going to do something. This is the whole conspiracy. It's like the elites are going to do something. They have to tell you what they're going to do, but not not maybe not just straight up. They're going to tell you they did, but they let us know what they're going to do, and this is just a form. This is a way that they've done it. I had a where's
This
it
is me
at?
on a
I had
plane
a
right here.
for whatever reason you're not coming up. I don't know. I can't even see your image. Can y'all see her, or is it just me?
I can see me.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't see you.
Hmm.
But
Well, just so you know, I'm scowling. Well, slightly scowling on a plane.
oh, when you're on the plane, somebody really went in and they were talking about this situation. Who was this guy? Maverick. I think I've seen some of his. I think you've seen some of his videos before too.
Mm.
Continues. Let's get into it. Now, a multitude of things happened over the past couple days, starting with the death of the former Vice President Dick Cheney,
Oh
who
yeah,
died on
Cheney
the
died.
was vice president at the time of 9.
Yep.
Then we have the first Muslim mayor of New York City, Mondani, winning the election. Then we have a plane crash, which was a UPS carrier that went down in Louisville, and which was flight 2976. Now, can anybody tell me how many victims, excluding the hijackers, died in 9/11? Yeah, 2976.
2,976.
Same number. Now, that was on the FBI, but if you go to Wikipedia, it actually says 2977. If you add Dick Cheney's, he's that last person. Now, where did this plane crash?
I
At the
don't get
Muhammad
that.
Ali International Airport. Now, who did they say that was one of the hijackers responsible for 9/11?
Khalid Muhammad.
Khalid Muhammad. Coincidence? Let's keep going. Now, in that plane crash, the Louisville mayor stated that there was 9 people that got killed and 11 others injured. What?
So it's more than that. There's more than that now.
It was decommissioned from the passenger service on October 26, 2014, in which from the time it went down, 9 days, 11 years. Now, going back to Mamdani, he was born October 18th, 1991. From that time to when Trump got inaugurated in office this year, it was 33 years, 3 months, and 3 days. You mean to
Mm.
tell me Tower stood 33 years before they fell? And let's not forget that Trump is from New York. Not to mention that UPS plane only reached 175 feet before crashing, right? You guys, that's the same flight number as the second plane in 9/11. How? And the
Flight
cherry on
number
top is that the second plane
175.
had a 33% load factor. Got it. If you guys don't think that we live in the Matrix by now,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, did he pull his shoulder out? I mean, he connected a lot of dots, but that's kind of crazy as far as those connections.
I'm not saying nothing.
I don't want to say nothing either because you already know they run with the conspiracy theorists, all this and that or whatever, and it's like,
Yeah,
well,
apparently they do. Candace Owens just released an article saying that she has the number one podcast in the world without funding, something like that,
hmm,
without promotion. Yeah,
wait, who? Wait, that's she's funded. What are you talking about?
exactly. It's weird. It's just weird. Well, she's been going for less than a year now. And she went from being fired to being put in position, and people don't think she. Mm, 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 mm. I can't.
Well,
I can't.
media, media, media is important. They will put, who they want in place. They put who they want in place.
I don't
But
think people realize they can't put her on TV in order for her to work the angles that she works. Because if they put her on TV and she said the kind of things that she says on her so-called not you know, funded or not what is the word, promoted or whatever, um podcast, they would get sued.
mm-hmm,
They would get sued
mm-hmm,
all day. There's a reason why she's not on television. They got her exactly where they want her. And I am going to say this, and I don't care who's listening. That girl is working for the agenda. In my opinion, that girl is working for the agenda. Um,
mm-hmm.
Number one, she doesn't need funding. She has her husband, who is her executive producer, who pays for everything. She's got a better deal than she would with any of these podcast networks.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a much better deal. Um, but I just find it funny because it's like they're building this up and they're building this up to have the one person that everybody will listen to so that they can get that person to spread a message out to all the world. And it's just, it's, yeah. And now we got more, more planes falling out the sky. And, yeah, there's something else. I don't know if anyone else can feel it, but I feel it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
There's
it's something
something
else going on.
else happening,
Yeah,
and you can
there's a whole
feel
lot
it.
of something else. Whole lot.
You can feel it. They are stacking the deck with all of this trauma, all of this trauma. Um, and it's becoming really, but let me not
Okay.
derail where you were.
No, 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 not, no. I see it. It says Candace Owen podcast reaches new heights on global charts. Reached number one on global charts without any promotion. That's a lie. You've been promoting her. Jag has been promoting Candace's goddamn on website, and not paid because Jag ain't been paid by them. But yeah, that's hilarious. But
It's crazy when
yeah,
me and Nick Fuentes have the exact same opinion about that
well,
person.
well, yeah, 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 oh yeah. When they and look, check, you're right. When you said the financial system, you're so right and exact. Elon Musk, and I don't agree with Elon Musk. Just like Jag, you don't agree with um uh, uh what's his face, fuck boy, Nick Fuentes, in most instances, but in this instance, I'm going to agree with Elon Musk because Musk said it. He went, behind the veil, and he knows a lot. He knows what's going on. See, Elon Musk get money globally. Like he's not. He's a billionaire, damn near trillionaire, and it's in different countries, not just in this.
You know what I don't understand?
He do it.
How is his very non American self so involved in American business, American politics, and predicting what's going to happen to our country. How does a foreigner get this much play?
But you understand how these global elites play, and that's the game that he is. Whatever y'all can say, whatever y'all want to say, but Trump was put into the become president, installed as president because this country is no longer the superpower. It will never ever be the superpower that it once was. So Trump is like, when you got a Kmart, I don't know if you're from LA, if you remember Zodi's. It was almost like Sears and Zodi's. You're gonna go out of business sale. You gotta have a manager who knows how to liquidate. And Trump is the perfect manager for America right now because they're deconstructing this country. They're going to do a reset of the uh, financial system because pretty much everything is ran on the dollar. It's still ran on the dollar. They just can't yank it away so quickly. And
They got to be
everything
able
is
to
being
have a
done.
way to create the accessibility for people to accept the idea of a fire sale.
Yeah. Because think about it. Most everyone's homes, if you don't have a home or anything that's, um, like straight up bought, the banks own it. The banks own it, and you got property taxes. It's a lot. So that the economy is like propped up because of that, because of the bank. I mean, the housing stuff, the stuff that's going on with housing. I'll just say it like that. Um,
I don't
jobs aren't
even know if
what
it's a good idea to be to be what they would call a homeowner right now at all. Matter of fact, I don't even know. Ooh, it's
the
like
only
the
the
simple
only
stuff
the only
that
homeowners
they're getting rid of the credit. They're getting rid of credit.
the only homeowners the, I guess the only homeowners that's good to be are the homeowners like King Payne and Dookie Way
Mm,
and
I don't even know
and
how you
them them
those people
them
aren't home.
homeowners.
Number one, they're not
They're
homeowners.
they're homeowners, just the hummus, like hummus homeowners,
You know what?
homeowners. Get it?
Oh
The
goodness.
the the yeah, the donuts, the homeowners, the homeowners. Yeah.
How many times you gonna say it? You gotta stop.
I had to throw that joke in there. Um, but no, you didn't let me finish. I was basically trying to say, um, you think you'll get rich by getting a job. I think that was what they programmed us to think when we were kids. Like, oh, not what you want to create when you grow up, what you want to be when you grow up. Or I want to be this, and then you become this thing, and you get a job, and you're supposed to make all this money or whatever. Bull crap, right? Because the way the economy is set up is, you got to work, and you work, and then you buy this, and then contributed to the financials system by buying into this and doing that or whatever. You got money, blah blah blah. Like you said, credit. You talk about credit. Elon Musk basically said, "Well, the only reason the only way we're going to get out of this financial situation now, the United States, is to build robots." That's what Elon Musk just basically said. He said
Oh,
the only way out is to build robots. What do you think of that?
I think he'll say anything to promote his own wealth. I think he'll say anything to try to trick people into buying more of his stuff. We have robots. They're called Teslas. Why do we need more?
No, he's talking about
No, I
his
know.
Tesla Optimus, and because he
Yeah,
has
I
these
know.
robots that he want, they cost around $30,000, and you can program them to do what, like, they have the robots in effect right now, but they're not autonomous, like, meaning you tell it what to do and then it does it. They have actual people running them.
When
You
it gets
know,
to
uh,
the point where a society is operating more on technology than it is on just humans. It's uh, I don't know. I guess people haven't really paid attention to how this whole thing works. I guess people aren't understanding. There was at a QT, there was this robot that they had policing the store and scanning the store. It wasn't doing anything. It was just sitting there, spying on everybody, getting in the way,
Mm,
going up and down the aisles. And I'm sitting there looking, and I wanted to kick it.
mm.
Can I kick it? And of course, if I had, if I probably would have gotten in trouble, and no one would have said yes, you can. Um, but I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I'm just like, people don't understand. The second that they can start implementing using pure robotics in our society, they don't need human beings anymore. They don't need humans anymore. That means they'll be able to program these machines to do the jobs that they would have normally had to have paid a nice salary or wage to, which of course they don't have to worry about because they just get the robot. And then the human beings will be forced to take the crap jobs and they'll have no choice because that's all that's going to be available. I don't think people see what's coming.
Well, that's why we're talking about predictive programming. If y'all remember this movie back in the day, I used to love this movie. I kind of like fell out of love with it because I started like saying F Arnold Schwarzenegger after I figured out, uh, he could have saved Tookie Williams and he didn't. And he used to know Tookie Williams. If y'all don't know who Tookie Williams, look him up. They used to bodybuild together. Long story short, though, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Total Recall in the self-driving car. If y'all remember Total Recall. This is another example of programming where there are these self-driving cars, and they even had the in the movies they had that movie Contagion. Is that with Morgan Freeman? That was with Morgan Freeman in 2011 where they had the pandemic. Um,
Will
Terminator
Smith
with
in iRobot.
there
Tom
you go. I was about
Cruise.
Will Smith, iRobot,
Tom Cruise in the Minority Report, where they were doing predictive crime,
Crime.
pre-crime, self-driving cars,
Yep.
iris and retina scanning on random, having little microbots being able to jump up in your
Hmm.
your your eye hole in your door where you had to put your eyes, and these robots, these little microbots would go and scan your retina. I don't think people understand if they put it in a movie. Like everyone wants to believe that all of this stuff is just make believe.
Well,
Man, why did I have to get old in this era?
yeah, because this is some book. So
Like I would
you
have rather just
people,
gotten old and
like this.
died in the 80s at the beginning of Reaganomics.
Damn. So you'd have been born
In the 20s.
during Grover Cleveland's administration or some shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I could have made it through World
Well,
War
you didn't.
II. I could have
Then you would have missed. You would have missed in living color. I mean,
I mean, everybody else did. Because I don't think people are paying attention to the fact of what Keenan Ivory Wayans was saying about what happened with his show, because they took forever to greenlight his show. And it was really
Yeah.
interesting because he said the exact same thing that a lot of people have said, that some guys came in from the network to sit down with him and to talk about exactly what his show was really all about and what it was going to be about, and how they did a bunch of filming and stuff before they even allowed the first pilot episode to hit. And it was funny because the way he described them, it's kind of like, hmm, you wanna know what's interesting? Do you remember that meeting that they were saying that all of the rappers were invited to, and they were coming in and telling them what kind of music they wanted them to put out, and whoop-de-woo, and yada, yada,
Mhm.
yada, and this is what it
Mhm.
was, and if you do this, you're gonna be very rich, you'll be famous, and whoop-de-woo, and yada, yada, yada. Well, I saw another person speak about that in another interview, and it's funny, the channel that it popped up on, I'll tell you later, but the rapper that said something about it, he didn't say the name of whose house it was that they went to. But this older black gentleman who had connections to Clarence Avon, who had connections to Barry Gordy, who had connections to a lot of interesting stuff, he actually dropped the name. He said it was Clive Davis.
Mm.
They all went to Clive Davis's house. And he said that people from the CIA were there.
Mm. Hmm. Interesting.
I don't think people really understand, and I don't like talking about it. But the thing is, we need to talk about it. See, they don't want us to talk about it. I don't get it.
Mm.
Anyway, you go ahead.
No, there's so much to speak on. I just said let me, and we're gonna cut this short in a minute. I was just saying, bringing light to the predictive programming, and I guess maybe we'll see more in 2026 because of what's pretty much going on. And I've been saying it, like, everybody talking about this food stamps now, and they're running a whole just, I see YouTube channels just, running with that whole thing, you know these food stamps, EBT SNAP program being stopped or slowed down, and you know it's going to be doing this to people, this and that or whatever. But I've been saying, just, my channel doesn't necessarily focus on that, but I've been saying, hey, everybody organize, get together, start, community farms, stuff like that. That stuff is real. Like, we really got to start thinking of that. And even when food stamps, if it comes back like that, that needs to be the thing, because that's the only way we're gonna survive in this country. Is
Understand this.
being together,
Mhm.
unity.
But the country isn't teaching togetherness. The country isn't teaching unity. At every turn, we have everyone turning against everyone. Humanity isn't even really real anymore. Like when people are looking at each other, they're not seeing their fellow man, they're seeing their fellow enemy. Racism is at an all time high, all time high. Am I wrong?
Well, how about this? I think the racism has always been there, and they're just showing it. And they just they and then and they got the crowd of people that they can, you know show it with, and it's being captured more because of technology.
I see. This is the thing. What's the difference between racism in 1945 and now in 2025? What's the difference?
The racism there was, I guess you could say, it was more overt. Um, See, I'm from California, so I've been dealing with, and I know about West Coast racism. That's what we call it, where these folks act nice and act like they're benevolent, and they, oh yeah, and then they're racist as all hell.
You want to
So
know what's funny?
the difference is just covert back, covert now. Go ahead. What do you got to say? What's funny?
That's what my dad used to say about the difference between living in the South and living in the North. You get across the Mason-Dixon line. You
Yeah.
know, people were taught, "Oh, you got to go up north where you can be free and whoopty whoopty woo, and it's not like this and it's not like that." Um, and my dad said, "No, it never disappeared. It was still there. It was whispered. It was
Mm-hmm.
secret clubs. It was secret
Mm-hmm.
handshakes. It was
Mm-hmm.
what you could have, what you couldn't have." He said, it's all still there. And it's wild because when you look at the entire world, like America is pretty much the main country in the world that focuses on color divide the way it does. Like pretty much everywhere else in the world, you got all of the other isms and the trees. You got your bigotry, you got your sexism, man against womanisms, all of that stuff. But in the United States, we do racism on a whole nother level over here. Like it is it's something else, and someone was bringing up their teaching the Hunger Games and the Lord of Flies and all of that. But is nobody remembering during the pandemic, the Squid Games came out and everyone was watching it? Do you remember this? Did you watch the Squid Games?
Not really. I saw
Neither did I.
some of it, but I didn't watch it like that.
And when I was looking, what I did see, and when I heard people talking about it, I'm like, I don't think they get what this is all about. They're preparing your mind to be okay with selection and you know,
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm
Mm-hmm.
correct, that whole show was about people pretty much deciding who gets to live and who has to go. And there were certain challenges that were set, and if you didn't meet those challenges, then people they were unalived. And then I saw there was this other program. I think it was supposed to be a movie. I think actually we it was a trailer that we saw when we went to see I'm trying to remember. Was it when we went to go see Sinners? You don't remember that? These guys were walking and they had to keep walking.
Yeah, the walk or something. Yeah, and then they yeah, one of them got bust on when they stopped walking. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
and if you stop
The
walking,
march or something.
they X you out.
Yep, I
And
remember that.
people
That
were
movie's
just
coming out.
and I'm like, Why do we need a movie like this out here in the world?"
Well, what about The Walking Dead? Speaking of walking, um,
You know what?
if you look at it from an esoteric level,
We're
you got a
already
lot of
there.
people just out here walking dead. Exactly. You look at it from that angle, you got a lot of people that just they are walking dead already.
Well, you got to remember how that series began. It started with a vaccine that went haywire. And then the next thing you know, you had those who were not affected by it and those who were. But then they tried to convince I think the whole point of it was is that everybody had it. It was in everybody.
Yeah,
It- I'm telling you, when you look at these movies, when you look at this stuff, all of this was put into place. Hey, LP, all of this was put into place to prepare us to be okay with what is to come.
I didn't even see LP. What's up, Laron? Somebody left a. Oh, that's thank you, Leilani Arrington. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Leilani. I didn't even see that either. My bad. I just, I'm trying to figure out what kind of neighbors are we all going to choose to be?
Mhm.
Walking Dead was one of my favorite series too, but when you really think about it, it was teaching us what to expect from humanity when the shit hits the fan. I want y'all to think about that. People woke up one day and there was no law and it was a free for all. Are people really ready for that life?
Not really, but
No, I mean
it's
for
a
real.
slow
We
walk. It's a slow walk to it right now when you look at it. Like I said, I'm at like shoot. I wish I had my farm and just my solitude and just I'd be straight. Because then when everything starts to fall apart, it's like, well, my as long as I got my water running, my wells, my farm, I'm growing my food, I'm good. And if somebody come on my property, they gonna get, you know, where you gonna go when I hit you with the fofo? I don't know. That's Walking
it's
Dead because that's basically what it was. You had a bunch of like enclaves of survivalists, you know,
I want people to really think about what that looks like. Your neighbor, your old boss, all of the, you want to know the people that I really found interesting in the Walking Dead series? The ones who just out of nowhere decided to put on a whole new persona and pretend to be something completely different, to be completely someone like the guy that played the king,
like that. Who you talking about?
the
Oh,
black
it's
guy
about
who played, he played
the
the king
king.
and he had a lion
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That fool.
and
Yeah,
he was talking and it was so funny because every time he would break character, I used to like it when he would break character to talk to Carol. And Carol would
yeah.
ask him, "Why are you why are you what's wrong with you?" And he would give her this big old answer about why he chose the, and he wanted to be a leader and he talked like he thought leaders should talk and it's so funny
He's a
because
weirdo.
a weirdo, or is he right? Was he right? You know? Because we got leaders now that talk one way in public and talk another way when
We're gonna talk about leaders. First thing you got to do is be able to lead your freaking self, right? You can't lead nobody unless you can lead yourself. That I know.
yes, his name was Ezekiel. What's I mean, what happens if Negan really happens in real life?
Well, it's just going to someone who's just as ruthless as him will have to uh, supersede or overpower him, and then it's just going to. It's that's just what it's going to have to. It's not you're not dealing with democracy, but when you talk about democracy in Latin translates Ma rule. It never was really intended to be anything democratic about any so-called free society. Because if you that's like letting the kids run the house. You know what I'm saying? These elites, so-called elites, they've been running things, societies for millennia, and they know what it is. And then if they give you a false sense of democracy because they don't want, people tearing up stuff. So they give you the whole, that's why we just got through voting, and we could talk about that with all these new mayors. There's a bunch of new mayors, and
Mhm.
supposedly, the Democrats this, that, or whatever. But that's all an illusion. It's all fake. When you really want to talk about it, it's all fake. Um, but yeah, if you had a Negan, only thing will happen is somebody else gonna come with a bigger bat with more spikes and get him out the way, and then it's just gonna keep going that way.
Let me get real diabolical. What happens if Negan is a robot?
Oh, well, you got to figure out what's the power supply and get rid of them.
Like I'm everybody's worried. It's kind of crazy. You don't want to teach or preach to chaos. You don't want to preach to fear. You don't want to preach to anarchy. You don't want to preach to any of these things. You don't. Um and by no means am I sitting here selling this, but what I am looking at is it's like our society is being prepared to be in a
Hmm.
constant state of unrest or just civil chaos. And man,
Yeah, there's not going to be when ish hits the fan. Don't expect order in the chaos. That's why a lot of these elites have their bunkers. Go look it up. Mark Zuckerberg has a bunker in Hawaii. I'm sure most of them have underground bunkers and stuff like that. Whether it be a EMP or 'cause that's likely what could happen in EMP. If you guys don't know what an EMP is,
oh,
electronic. What is it? Electronic
electromagnetic pulse.
pulse. Yeah, right.
Knock out
And just everything,
all
pretty
that
much
trust.
everything
Anything.
goes out. Anything mechanical goes out. Most of this world is ran on anything mechanical. That's why I said, just give me my farm and I'm good. I ain't tripping. I can live without a lot of the mechanics. But an EMP hit, y'all think the snap program is a bitch right now? And ain't nobody able to get you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You get you
Say
some
say.
gas, you're gonna go the 400, 600 mile radius that you be able to get to, and you ain't gonna be able to get gas. Your car, if you got an electric car, probably ain't gonna work.
Oh no, listen to me. If you have an electric car, you can forget it. That's not working. You're not going to be able to pull up to one of your battery stations, which is why I find it very interesting. Um, all of these Teslas. Now, see, this is the thing. Those Teslas, those batteries. Is anybody? I can't. I'm not going to say too much. See, this is why I particularly don't really care for electric cars. I don't. Because if you lose your electricity source, then what you going to do? You spent all of that money for this thing that you can't move. But see, a good old fashioned car, hmm, you can start it without a key if you know what you're doing. It's yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
tell you one thing,
Um,
They are doing a whole lot. Gucci Man shouts out a lot of things these days. Bless his heart. Bless his heart and his mental well-being. Speaking of schizophrenia and bipolarism, has anybody else seen a post about Kanye West apologizing to the Jews and begging forgiveness? I'm trying to. Was that a joke? Did that really happen? Sometimes you guys in the chat, y'all been seeing things. Okay, well then maybe it didn't happen. Cause I swear to God, I thought I saw something that said that. I'm Yeah, it's getting interesting.
Real Kanye is right here.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I think Kanye did say it. He said, if y'all see me not talking like I normally talk, woo woo, you know how Kanye talk, uh, then that ain't me. They done unalive me. That's basically what he said. But this is a TikTok. Somebody came up and said the real Kanye was revealed. This is a homeless man on the bench. Looks like like he had a lobotomy pretty much. And yeah, they said that that's really him. This is what TikTok is saying. I'm not saying this is him, but just remember, Kanye did say that though. He said, if if I'm ever come out speaking like I don't normally like I'm not the normal Kanye, then that ain't me. He said that. That's just I'm not saying it. I'm just saying that's what he said. So, don't that look like Ye? Oh, that's crazy, huh?
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If it is, nobody will believe it.
Exactly.
Nobody will believe it. Even if it was him, nobody will believe it. I'll never forget when I first saw Andre 3000 down
Mm,
on in Dallas, Griffin Street Bridge, right there around the corner from Arts and Letters. And it kind of tripped me out because he was down there, unshaven, just you could have easily mistaken him for a vagrant.
mm,
And he was down there playing his flute. Now it's wild because he had moved to Dallas to be closer to Seven, um, his son that he shares with Erica Badu. And, you know, it was kind of interesting. And then all of a sudden, he was just down there and said that he didn't want to rap anymore. I heard a slightly different story. Someone they said that he couldn't rap anymore. Um, but before that, he was going through anxiety, social anxiety. And it's funny
hmm
because Summer Walker was going through the same thing when she wanted to come off the road and she didn't want to tour anymore because she had developed real bad social anxiety. She ain't got that anxiety no more. Um, and when I think about the stories that people have tried to push out about me, um, like I'll never forget when I was talking to that person from that first production company that I worked with in Las Vegas, and that Patrice Garner person who kept insisting that she had a government job, but she never said who she worked for, what division of the government she worked for, any of that. But she kept insisting that she had a government job, but she was always on YouTube.
Mm.
And she actually told them while she was negotiating my contract that I was on lithium and that I had to be medicated, otherwise I would go crazy, and that that's why she needed to work on my podcast with me to make sure that I took my medication so that I would be able to work. You know, it's really interesting because she kind of tried to position herself to be my handler.
Mm. Hmm. Now, who was gonna receive the finances? Well, like that tells you everything right there. Who was going to receive the finance, or who's getting paid, or what was up with that? Who was that in that deal?
Well, let's be clear. It really doesn't even matter because nobody got paid.
But who was supposed to?
Well, of course, once we got picked up and once this happened and that happened, I was supposed to get paid, yada, 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 whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of View It. Yeah,
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah,
it's all very interesting how it all works. Yeah, Harley Pasternak is still around. Wendy Williams. It's just, I don't think people understand that for some people who have been affected by being targeted by the industry, people know that nobody's going to care. Britney Spears deactivated her Instagram again. No, I haven't seen anything for the new Michael Jackson movie. I don't even know if I want to watch. Because the truth is, every time they do these biopics on an entertainer, they keep changing the details for the younger generations, and the details keep getting further away from what actually happened. Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, y'all.
Mm. Well, this is your live, so I'm just here.
Well, I'm done. I'm sitting there looking at the apologize and kiss the ring. This is what MREC was talking about. I'm gonna have to check it out. But yeah, if they say it's fake, then hey, I guess it is fake. But that's it. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. I say people just y'all pay attention because there's gonna be a lot more going on in the future. Like you see a lot of crazy stories, and that's why we talked about the predictive programming.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep your eye open. There's going to be a lot more of that. Like that's just what I think. And and I'm not here, man. I hate to say it. I'm not going to be here warning nobody or it's like if you know, you know. Because the thing is you could say some stuff just like you, Jag. You've been saying a whole bunch of stuff. You've been ahead of the game, and what's the term they put out there, oh, uncredible, or she crazy or this and that. And it's like, no, you just you knew, you saw the writing on the wall. And people that didn't want to wake up or didn't want other people to wake up will hurry up and just uh, try to discredit, and that's the problem. If you pay attention, watch the people that constructive to say no ideas, no nothing. And like I said, I've been saying from the jump, like, hey, if you can get a community garden or if you can grow your own food in this time, at least for a few weeks or something, try to do that if you can. That's just something that I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying, I mean, if you don't know how to garden or you don't know about horticulture, you can go online and figure that out. But I'm telling people, like, it may get to the point to where, yeah, you're gonna depend on your own rations. Even if you go to Costco, I remember I had one. I got to go get another one that had this the MRE the MRE food. It was like I forget how much I paid. I think I paid like maybe like $30, but it was like a bucket of like MRE food, freeze dried food that will last you maybe a couple of weeks or something like that, or a couple of days. Um, People start thinking on that level. Just have water put up just to have water put up. It's all kind of crazy stuff that might happen, and it's not to be put no one in a fear-based mindset or nothing. Is if you're prepared, you're not scared. Uh, Shoot, for all that, get you a goddamn on revolver too, and just have that. If you can legally get weapons like that, just have your revolver. Just have it. All kind of crazy stuff, and it's because of who's in control of this world and the the fear. And it's the devil is pumping, trying to pump fear out there, and a lot of people are going to be uh, subjugated to that fear. Fear is a
Strong
spirit.
motivator.
Well, yeah, that too. And it's a spirit where people, if you're very apprehensive or afraid of, you don't know what's going to happen, then you do desperate things. You do things that ain't even logical sometimes. Um, so
There's a
yeah,
lot of people
yeah.
that count on that. I don't think a lot of people are even aware of the fact that fear has its own frequency. Our energy, it's it really does dictate a lot of what happens around us. It's your frequency drops low, it allows certain things to come in. You keep your frequency high, it allows certain things to come in. I've experienced it myself. The funny thing is what I see that's happening with all of these tragedies and all of this stuff that's going on is it's keeping people at like the gateway of depression. And that spirit enters in something else and something else and something else. So let's remember that they're trying to make sure that this holiday season is just going to be. I got a feeling
Horror,
this
horror
holiday
day,
season.
as one of my OGs, uh, Occur, my guy from Crash Unity, he called them the horror days.
Hmm. And why does he call them that? Do you think?
Well, because when you do the science on what the holidays really are, imagine if there were no, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, none of that, right?
Hmm.
And then people talk about what the was it the Jason months, and at the end of the Jason months is November. The July, August, September, October, November, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, because it's not holidays. They're not holly. A lot of them are paganistic worship
Ritualistic.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he said that.
Hmm. It's funny. We spend a lot of time preparing our lives and everything that we do around these pre-programmed moments that are orchestrated for us to follow, for us to get into, right? Why is nobody bothered to ask why they're necessary?
Yeah.
You know, I remember the thing that I loved the most about holidays was family getting together and everyone having time, people not having to go to work, people not having to go to school, and just being able to spend time together, loving on each other, just hanging out. You know what I mean? I remember that. That's what I loved about it the most. I mean, the presents and stuff were cool, whatever the case may be. But you know what I learned very young in my life, and I hated it? The stress that came along with keeping up with all of those presents and all of the this and all of the that. Like I hated that part of it. Matter of fact, I couldn't wait for the preparation to be done so everybody could just enjoy the moment. I remember that as a kid. So if the gathering is what we like, and if treating each other great is what we like, and if all of this stuff, then why isn't it just a normal rule? Why does it need to be this one big thing and this one that spend time with your family every week? You know, sitting there like I'm watching it. We're in that season now. We're in that season now where people are about to start going out of their minds, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to be prepared for this. And now a lot of it is done just so that they can post on social media for strangers to watch and see. Not because it's real, not because it matters. Um, but when you look at the statistics for, people who take their own selves out, Christmas is like one of the biggest times of the year when people are taking themselves out. It's wild.
Yeah, because yeah, you got to think about it too, where the energy of at least this part of the earth, um, you know, energetically, and then the days are shorter. You got highly likely chance for depression during those times. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, 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 y'all. It's deep. It's deep. I'm sorry, I haven't even been reading the chat. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Yum, Jay in the building, Jay Mizak, Sheila Gray, Ashley, Shells. What's up, y'all? Yeah. We're gonna get out of here though. Yeah, I normally don't speak on these topics, but it's funny. I'm sitting over here. I didn't even say what just popped up in the algorithm.
Mm.
Um, Freaking Satan and different religion comparisons. Because I'm talking about what was I just talking about? But it's very educational too. Um, because you know, uh, yeah, it's very educational. Maybe I'll do a topic on. It's so many names for Satan. Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, and yeah, it's it's just the main thing that we were talking about though today is just about the predictive programming. But the answer I would say is just make sure you're in control of your life. You are in control of your mindset, your destiny, your thoughts. Like you have to be the author of it, and just be led by the Most High, be led by God, and you'll be straight. If when you really break it all down. If we talk about predictive programming, like I said, the answer is just you being the author of your own. Like Auntie Leah, she's like, "Oh, I never saw that movie." And you didn't have to watch it, but if you do got time, I recommended watching it. I think one of the followers subscribers was like, yo, thanks for recommending that one movie. I forget the movie we said, but if you look at it from certain angles, certain movies they tell you certain stuff, and it's very interesting. But you still are the author of your own um, destiny for real. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. All right. Pray for everybody that was affected uh, in that crash in Louisville and just in all the other tragedies that's going on. They're sitting over here in supposedly in Nigeria. They're burying Christians alive, and that's part of the reason why it's that's just crazy. I said to myself, yeah, y'all would have to blast me because you're not gonna bury me alive. That ain't happening. Alive in this country without know it. So y'all hear me? They're burying people alive in Nigeria, Christians. They're burying them alive.
Is there a
But
reason why
in this
that's
country, they're
happening?
burying. Well, there's a ethnic or religious war going on in Nigeria and in Sudan. That's why I told Myron. I said, Myron, take your ass over there to your country and help your people because they've been blasting the Muslims have been blasting Christians over Nigeria. Yeah, they're over there burying people alive.
Well, why would he do
But
that?
in this
Khaled
country, they're
ain't worried
burying you
about his
alive
people.
too. Khaled's fat as hell, so
He ain't worried
he's
about
like,
his
we the
people.
best. Yeah, we are and can be his own destiny. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Hmm.
You know, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Well,
That's
it's
it.
always good. See you, family. You always know how to bring up a hell of a topic.
Hmm. All right, all right, y'all. Now I'm still over here reading some other stuff too. I'll tell you in a minute.
Uh huh.
All right, y'all.
Peace.